Dude, it freaking fits. Whoever said minivans aren't cool. Hello. Today I'm going to be adding some more to my box. Right now I have the launch and I have the deck, and then I have my new longer landing, which I really like with the longer wheelbase bikes like my Ripmo AF. And then I have my short landing on this side, so I can hip from that to here, which I kind of suck at right now, but I'll get the hang of it. And then over here, my neighbor waved hi and I was kind of ignoring him because I'm doing a video. Okay, over here, I'm gonna add a quarter pipe. So the idea is I'll have a quarter pipe on here, and I'm going to go full length of the box, which is 6 feet wide, and I'll be able to do a Bubikas, rollbacks, little airs on it. It is going to only be 3 feet high. I can land up on the deck, and the cool thing is I can then go from the new quarter pipe, which is going to be on that side, and land on my short landing. And the nice thing is because the distance is shorter to get across, I'll try to pop more air and come in, not quite a spine, but kind of a similar feeling as a spine. But it'll be kind of fun to have something shorter, and because of that I'm going to actually have a tighter radius on the quarter pipe than I do on my launch over there, because I want to have a little bit more pop, but I don't want too tight of a radius to where it's like a kicker. So we'll see how that turns out. So I have this plywood here that somebody gave me. I don't know the thickness of this, but it's definitely thick enough for side supports, and it's gonna be pretty heavy. And the nice thing about it being heavy, it sucks to move around, but it won't move on me when I'm riding it, which is ideal. And we're gonna go ahead and get this project started. This is probably gonna be a multi-day project. We have rain on the way, so I doubt I'll get it all done today, but we'll start it today and see how long it takes me to get a quarter pipe added to this. So the first thing I need to do is draw a radius on here, and as you can see I already drew one, but when I drew it I didn't think that I should put it on my channel and show people how to do that. I'm sure there's places you can find out how to do a radius, but I'm just going to go over it real quick just so you can see how it's done. So to do this I need 3 things. This is just a weight that I have a string attached to that I'll put over there. I have a Sharpie marker and I have a tape measure. So this is the string method of how to draw a radius. So basically I take this string, unravel it, once it's unraveled I'm going to put the anchor or weight out there. The idea is I want that to run straight along this edge of the plywood, but before I perfect that I want to measure the length. So I talked about the radius being a little tighter. The radius of my launch over here is 8.5 feet, so that means I went 8.5 feet long on this string and I drew an arc. This one I'm going to do 7.5 feet. I want it to be a little tighter for the quarter so I can pop a little more air, because I'm going to have a shorter distance to landing, and also it'll be more fun to get up on top and do tail taps and things like that. It is only going to be 3 feet high, so I can get away with a little tighter radius. If you were going with a bigger ramp, 7.5 feet might be okay for BMX bikes, but you get into mountain bikes, it's going to be pretty tight. So let's start and do our measurement. And so 7.5 is going to be right in here. So what I'm going to do is find that point, find 7.5, and I'm going to tie the marker at 7.5. 7 feet 6 inches. And I just do kind of a loose knot so I can adjust it as I need to. Wow, I think I got that right on. So what I need to do now is bring this in until I hit that 7.5 mark. And the easy way to do that is flip the tape measure around, catch that edge, and set this at 7 feet 6 inches. And if I did everything right, my marker should be right at the corner. Look at that. So the marker is right at the beginning corner of my ramp. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check the string and make sure it's parallel to this edge all the way to that hammer. And it's really close. It's close enough for government work. You ever heard that? If you're older, you've probably heard it. All right. So I'm going to line this up, and basically all I have to do at this point is keep the string tight. And I'm in grass here, so I have to kind of watch to make sure the grass doesn't catch it. Start. And this doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's close. And I'm going to draw my arc, keeping the string tight. I'll even walk on the board here. And there we go. Super simple. And now you have your radius, and you just cut along that line, and this piece over here will be my piece I can use. With a 4x8 sheet, depending on how big your radius is, this sheet I'm not going to be able to get away with it, but with a larger sheet of plywood, you can sometimes do one half of your ramp on that side and the other half on the other side of the plywood to save wood, and then you end up with a piece in the middle that looks kind of like an eye. This piece is not big enough, so I will have this extra plywood that I can do something else with at some point. But yeah, that's the radius. That's how you draw it. So let's move on to cutting. All right, so I have a jigsaw that I'm going to use, and this is, to me, it looks like a wimpy blade, but I'm always impressed with what a jigsaw can do, and as long as I'm not putting too much pressure on it, it should be fine. There's like a knot here and some stuff, so we'll see if the jigsaw can do it. If not, I have a Sawzall, and that's kind of a rough tool to do this kind of work with. And I have a table saw, or not a, I do have a table saw, but I have a circular saw, and the circular saw, sometimes making the turn is a little tight for the circular saw, is because it's kind of made to go straight. So we'll try the jigsaw and see how it works with this thickness of wood. First things first, safety glasses. I promote safety on my channel, and the main reason I do, like, if you just are lazy and you don't want to wear safety glasses and you're doing this stuff, if you get something in your eye, your riding career is done. Like, you can lose an eye. Like, you're not going to be doing mountain biking and BMX and stuff if you lose an eye. So it's just dumb to not do the little minor easy things to protect yourself. So first things first, safety. Another thing about safety is you don't plug your tools in until you're ready to use them, and when you're done using them, you unplug them. And that way you don't accidentally like pull triggers. This has this dumb little switch up here because it's an older jigsaw that could be, you know, bumped easily or something. You also have it in a safe place when you plug in, because if it was on, it would, you know, it would start moving around and I'd be able to unplug it right away. So now I'm done lecturing you. Here we go. So we'll see how the jigsaw does. I'm hoping it'll do the job. And then basically, once you get your cut start, just follow along the line. there it goes. So that little bit always snaps off on me, and it doesn't matter because that's where the plywood's gonna go. So there you have it. So there is one transition with, you know, rough cut edge. So what's going to happen here is there's going to be 2x4s along here, and the 2x4s are going to be what I mount the plywood to. I'm not really mounting to this edge, so this edge just has to be close. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we'll go ahead and use this as a template to cut the other side. So you don't need to do the whole string thing again once you have a side cut, because you can use this as your template for your other side. So you basically just take your Sharpie and you make sure you make a little swishy noise like that when you draw your line. And that way, let's make that line a little darker because we want to be able to see it when we're cutting. And now I'm all set to cut the other side. I don't think I need to show that again. Then we'll get to building the actual transition itself. So now I have both of my sides cut for my transition. So they're just being leaned up against the sides there. There's nothing holding them in place right now. But what will happen is I'll be putting 2x4s across. I generally do 6 inches spaced apart. And then this little additional part will get cut off to match the deck. Of course, I got to cut it off a little shorter so then it'll match the height. And the nice thing about laying them up here is I can, you know, measure everything and draw the lines and everything and get it just right to match that deck. This stuff is going to just sit here in my yard. I don't want to permanently mount it. I want to be able to move it around if I need to. I think the city would probably not like me to put anything permanent. As long as it's mobile, it's okay to do so. And then once I have the 2x4s, then I'll start sheeting the plywood, which I have sitting right over there on top of the deck that I hop onto and stuff, and you can see the 2x4s and everything there too. So that's going to be it for today. I'm feeling a little bit of rain coming down, so it's starting to sprinkle. It's supposed to rain for the rest of the day and throughout tomorrow, so it might be a few days before I do another update on this, but I'm pretty excited. You can kind of, if we come over here, see my vision. So I'll have the quarter, be able to play, you know, land on the deck, come back in and things like that, and then I'll have the steeper landing, so if I want to go across like that and make the landing, that'll be it. So thanks for watching. I'll keep doing updates on this project, and when I'm done, you'll get to see me ride it. Please subscribe and like this video.